You're watching BATV, bringing Brookline home.
Why, everywhere you go, sunshine follows you. Everywhere you go, skies are always blue. Children love you, they seem to know. You bring roses up from the snow. Oh, the whole world says hello. Everywhere you go.
Welcome to the Seymour Ziskend Show and All Ships at Sea, broadcasting from Brookline, Massachusetts, the United States of America. And here is your host, the one and only Seymour Ziskend. Take it away, Seymour.
Thank you, Terry, and hello, all you wonderful people up there. It's great to be back with you. As usual, we always bring you the best because we are the best. So if you're going to watch this program, go in and get those snacks and sit down and make yourself comfortable. We have as our guest the Consul General of Greece, the brand new one. And by the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not in today's world, but she certainly is one of the most stunning Consul Generals of Greece I've met. You will be really interested in this program. She will be talking about Greece, economy, and to give you an overview of this country. And no one can do it better than my guest, the Consul General of Greece, Virginia Canera. Welcome, Virginia.
Hello, nice to meet you.
My pleasure being with you.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you so much. And thank you for your kind words.
Oh, but I meant them.
Oh, okay, that's even better.
Yeah, it's even better.
Thank you.
So tell me, you're brand new as Consul General.
Indeed.
Tell us something about being a Consul General.
Indeed. We came...
Anything you'd like.
Yeah, thank you. We came in Boston 5 months ago. I came with my family, my husband and my 3-year-old daughter.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and I took over my duties as the new Consul General of Greece in May. And just before that, we were in Athens. And before Athens, we were stationed in Brussels, Belgium, for many years, for 5 years. And I was doing there multilateral diplomacy. I was working with the European Union. Now we came in Boston, and I'm in charge of the Consulate of Greece. And we are responsible for supporting our Greek American community in the wider area, as well as promoting Greece and our efforts and our country in New England.
And you'll do that quite well.
I will try.
You don't have to try. They certainly, in this case, picked the right one.
Thank you.
And I've had many Consul Generals from Greece on our show. Mm-hmm. And you're the first young lady I've had on my show.
I'm the first lady ever. So I don't know if this is good or bad, but...
That's very good. So
this is the truth.
Tell us something about Greece. Tell us about, you have so many islands on Greece. You have anywhere from 1,200 to 6,000, as I understand.
Yeah, that's...
So you pick out what you like and let the people know what it would be like to go to Greece and see these ancient buildings and statues. There's so much to talk about, and I understand you have the most beautiful beaches in the world.
You know, the truth is that tourism for us is a very important chapter of our economy. We do have these islands. We do have also beautiful places in Greece, I mean in the mainland. And it's not only good for tourists, to come and visit Greece, and we are mostly you who are coming, but it's also great support for our economy these days. And as you probably know, and I'm sure the audience do know, we have been experiencing, the last 6 years, a great economic crisis, and we are counting on tourism. It's along with services and along with agriculture, is one of our main pillars of our economy. So we're trying to upgrade the services. We're trying to build up confidence, and we're trying to attract as many tourists as possible, in order both for them to enjoy themselves, enjoy Greece and the Greek hospitality, the sea and the beaches and the sun, but also for us to restore our credibility and to help our economy stand up.
Well, you've got one thing in your favor, and that is some of the greatest chefs are Greek. And if you people want to gain some weight, that's the place to travel. Because once you have their food, you'll never stop eating it. And if you don't believe it, try a Greek restaurant wherever you live. They're really great. So tell us about something about the country.
Economy and the country. The last, as I told you, the last 6 years are tough. We have been experiencing a recession, and the government was obliged to take some important measures in order to restore, fiscal, to restore our economy, and people experience sacrifices. But I think that, and it's good that at the end of the tunnel there is some light, and the first positive results already are there, and we see that, for example, for the first time after 10 years you have a primary surplus. The truth is that, as I told you, we have the measures that were taken were very hard. We have been deprived about 40% of our individual GDP, which means that the crisis had an impact on our lives, on our daily lives. And the problem is greater as regards youth. And this is the most important, this is the most challenging thing for us, because the unemployment has hit the youth. And we're talking about huge numbers. More than 60% of our youngsters are unemployed at the moment. And this is the main challenge for the government, to be able to strike the right balance between restoring, fiscals and restoring our, the numbers, but at the same time maintaining the social cohesion that we need in order to, to survive as a society. Because
right.
Numbers are very important, and we have to do better. We have to proceed to the necessary structural reforms, because we need reforms, and this is what we are doing at the moment. We are reforming our public sector. We take all the administrative measures that we need. At the same time, we need to target to growth. We need to create new jobs. We need to give to those young people at least a work, because they need hope. Otherwise, we cannot, cannot go on as a society. And as I told you earlier, the first good signs came from the tourism industry. And I will give you some numbers if you're interested. But for the first 8 months of 2013, we had an increase of more than 80% in tourists, and by the end of the year, we're expected more than 70 million tourists in Greece for the 2013, which is a very good sign. It's a very positive sign, and it's not by accident. These things never happen by accident. We have, the Minister of Tourism has adopted a very solid and comprehensive strategy. We have upgraded our services. We offer a good and qualitative product in better prices. So we're becoming competitive, and exactly because people like Greece, and tourists prefer to come. And this is a very significant help for all of us, because it has ended up to an increase in our tourist revenues up to 18% for the last 18 months compared to last year, which is to be totally honest, which is one of the few sectors of the economy that help us, increase the total GDP of the country. And it's exactly what we need. We need growth.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So with that in view, tell us about the country. Tell us about what to visit. Tell us about the beaches. And you could throw in a few islands.
Yeah. You know, I will. It's very interesting that the top 3 destinations for chosen by the tourists this year were Kalamata, which is in the mainland, and it's near Sparta. I'm sure that everybody knows Sparta and Peloponnese. And there we had an increase of 50% in tourist arrival compared to last year. Santorini, which is of course, you know, one of the most beautiful islands on earth, and this is highly recommended to your viewers. I mean,
Really?
it's a very, very nice place.
Do you have a picture of it?
Yes, of course. I think that
That I'd like to see, and I'm
It's
sure
a-
they all would out there.
they will. This is Santorini. You will see it.
There we go.
Yeah. This is Santorini.
And,
And
that
it's-
is really a beautiful.
It's a very nice. This is the next one is Kalamata, which was the first tourist destination for 2013, and this is because of the tourist infrastructures. Because nowadays they have started to build, big resorts, and they are attracting tourists from all over the world. They are offering, great golf opportunities for those who love golf, and I know that many Americans do prefer Kalamata because of the new resorts in the area. That's why they do prefer and go there. Also, Crete,
And they have-
Iraklio. This is Crete. I mean, the next slide is Crete. You know, Crete is a big island, offers many opportunities. It depends on what kind of.
And how would they get there? If they were going to
There are,
visit?
there are direct flights. During the summer, there are direct flights, not from Boston, and this is a problem. Even for us, I mean, if we want to go to Greece, we have to go either to New
To
York.
the mainland.
Yeah, either to New York and or Zurich or Germany, because from Boston the truth is that you don't have a direct flight to Greece. So you have to go to Athens first via one of the big European cities or New York, and then you can either drive or take a boat, a ship. The boats are. The network, it's very extensive, so you can. All the islands are accessible, and the mainland, of course, it's very easy to access. They offer, a great variety of accommodation. I mean, you have either, the traditional big, luxurious, hotels. There are also rooms to let for the young people who prefer, something more in better prices. So basically, it's what we say that in Greece you can find basically everything you want. It depending on what you want to find. I mean, there is everything from the big islands, from Crete and Rhodes and Corfu, which are more popular islands, very busy, and tourists like them because they are busy and they have nice nightlife and great food and beaches. And others who prefer something more, let's say, isolated, and there are these tiny little small islands hidden in the Aegean. I mean, there are for different type of tourists, there are many things to choose.
Absolutely. If you want romance, head for Greece. You'll find it, believe it. How is the food in Greece? I mentioned before that they have great chefs, the Greeks.
Yeah.
Do you go to the beach at all with your family when you're in Greece?
Yes, in the beach you said.
Yes.
Of course. And the food is good. The food is not only good, but the food is based on the so-called Mediterranean diet.
Yes.
And it's not only tasty, but it's also good and it's very healthy. And it's based on olive oil and on vegetables and yogurt and all these products. So it's very good, and it's highly recommended to go and taste some good Greek kitchen.
That sounds real good. If my wife was living right now, I'd say to her, Joanne, pack up. We're going to Greece. It sounds that great. Tell me, how is the water at the beaches? Is it warm? Is it cold?
It is warm, yeah. Compared to your waters here, it's very
Really?
It's very warm. because Aegean is a very closed, and it's a very closed sea. It's not it's not an ocean, so the water it's very friendly for families because they're not very deep, so kids can play on the beach. And I told you earlier, I mean, depending on what you want to find, I mean, you can just you can just Google or go to a tourist agent, and they can pick the right place for you. If you want something busy, or if you want something just to rest, if you want something which is for families or for young couples, depends on what you want. There are many options. I mean,
It's there to serve.
exactly.
If you want that, if you want something great and a good vacation, this is the place to go.
That's
And you actually, there's so many other things to see in Greece.
yes.
You
it's
have museums, you have sports. As a matter of fact, you mentioned Sparta. The Spartans were really the greatest warriors. And at another program, perhaps you'd like to talk about that type of a program.
We will, yeah.
You have Helen of Troy.
Yeah, the history, the history, our recent history is very rich, and we could, talk for ages. But the truth is that, besides beaches, I mean, a tourist can also have, there are alternative types of tourism for destinations for tourists in Greece, and that involves the archaeological places and the museums. A few years ago, we just renovated, and basically it's a new museum, the new museum of the Acropolis Museum, which is one thematic museum. It's from Parthenon, and it's magic. I mean, if you ever been in Athens, you have to go and to visit that museum. It's a very nice museum, but also outside Athens. I mean, Delphi and Olympia and Sparta and many cities around in the wider region, Nafplion, they do offer other possibilities than just swimming.
And what about sports?
Of course, all the type of sports related to the sea, and they're very. I mean, skiing or surfing, water surfing, or depends on the taste. But there are nowadays, and especially after the 2004 Olympic Games, we have advanced our infrastructure, and it's true that in the big resorts, and not only the big resorts, but on every place you can find some decent and nice, activities, and especially for young people who would like to exercise a sport, they can combine both, swimming and sports, other activities, and let us not forget that besides the sea, we have also mountains, and another alternative destination would be for your viewers to go and visit the inland. For example, Epirus or Macedonia, they offer many nice alternative possibilities, other destinations. For people who like a more, quiet and alternative environment, who'd like, for example, to walk and, or love horse riding or, bird watching or whatever you can imagine. There are places, nice small boutique hotels up in the mountains. The temperature is very good. Even in the summer, it's not hot. It's not hot, and it's something that you can tolerate, and it's very nice, ideal. Very nice scenery up to the mountains, and with the access is very easy. I mean, you don't have to. You have to take a car, or even take a plane up to a main city, and then drive a couple of hours maximum in order to find a very nice destination.
So arriving in Greece, well, where would actually, heading from New York, where would the plane land? In Athens?
You see, there is no direct flight from New York to Athens. For example, what we are doing is we're taking the plane from Logan, from Boston, and we're going either to Zurich, Switzerland, or Germany, or London, and then we go to Athens.
I see.
We have to transit. I mean, there is no direct flight at the moment.
Well, you're not that far from Germany
No, it's a couple.
or Poland.
No. For example, from Zurich or from Germany is 2 hours, 30 hours flight.
So actually, Greece is more or less of a center. From Greece, you can go anywhere in that area.
Yeah, it's it's a very convenient place. It's very good because you can stay in Athens or in mainland, and then you can travel to the islands, and you can pick up an island and spend a week there. I mean, it depends on what you want to do.
Well, personally, I love the beach,
The beach.
but
Okay.
I have to be very careful. Here I go. I just, when was it? Last week, I went to the dermatologist, the skin doctor, and as you can see, they burned off sunspots. So I have to wait now for about, at least a couple of months for that to disappear.
The sun is,
Right.
you have to be careful with the sun. Everybody has to be careful with the sun, especially in Greece where the sun is very, very hot. And
Really?
yeah, you have to avoid, from 1 to 3, it's better to
Well,
stay off.
that's for me, I must tell you.
For everybody, it's not healthy.
Oh, there are
For
some people that like the Antarctic, to go down there and freeze.
I know.
That's not my way of doing it.
I know.
I like the idea of being on a beach, or if you want to hike or go up mountain climbing, horseback riding, as you pointed out, auto racing.
There are so many things you can do. But it's, if I may repeat, it's not only a destination that you can have fun, and you can rest, and you can visit different places. I mean, it's not Boston and New England. They are.
It's different, altogether
It's different.
Yes.
I love Boston. I've never been here before. It's the first time, and it's amazing. I mean, especially this time of the year, and also the summer was amazing. Greece offers something different. It's not something you need to compare, but it offers something different, and it's worthwhile. I mean, exploring that.
Absolutely.
That different, let's say, product that they were offering. I'm sure that they will. Your viewers will really enjoy it, and they will come back.
Tell me something, and these people out there watching the show, what are some of the holidays that is celebrated in Greece? And what time of the year would that be? What months?
We have, for example, during the great majority of Greeks are Christian Orthodox, and we are celebrating our Easter, and I think that this year is exactly the same day as the Easter for the Catholics, and I mean, the churches and the people, they are organizing very nice events around this, around the week of just before Easter, and it's in April, if I'm not mistaken, this year. It's quite early if someone wants to go and combine it with beaches, and it's
Yes.
quite early. But still, I mean, if someone is there in April, it's really worth it to go and visit the church, participate a bit in the festivities of the churches and the communities there, because we have some special traditions, and they are very nicely and different. So it's nice to watch. But other than that, during the summer also, and depending on the islands, they celebrate their, the local, let's say, saint, because we have this tradition. We have local festivities. We call them panegyri, and they offer good food and Greek music and Greek dances all night. So. But basically, it depends on the island you will visit, because each one of these, different destinations, they have different festivities. Many of the municipalities, they organize festivals. Festivals, folklore festivals, or dance festival, music festivals. So basically, besides swimming, tourists can find many other things to do during the day.
Also, many people are not quite aware of this, but you make great wine.
Yeah. The truth is that there are certain products like wine, like olive oil, like olives, like feta cheese that are, directly linked to the brand name of Greece. And they are of high quality, and I totally, recommend to your viewers to at least taste them and ask them to. I know that you are familiar with Greek yogurt, but besides yogurt, there is a great cheese, feta cheese. We do have also wines, and olive oil, olives.
Which is very healthy.
They are
all
very
of these
healthy.
foods.
They are the basis of the Mediterranean diet, and this is why people in Europe these days, but also increasingly in America, they do prefer, and there is a turn into this, Mediterranean diet, because it's cholesterol-free and it's very, very healthy.
Come to think of it, the consul generals I've had on my show from Greece, they have not been stout, meaning they haven't been with large stomachs.
Ah.
They were slim. So I guess it's this.
It's because of the cut in our salaries.
Right. And that's
Because
another
of the
reason.
crisis.
Yeah, by heavens. That's another reason. People should definitely try their olive oil.
I know, it's very
They're
good.
very famous for that.
It's very good. We avoid, frying products, and we do prefer vegetables. We eat a lot of fish as well
Well, fish, I
Yeah.
understand,
because of the sea. You see.
from the Aegean Sea.
Yep.
And let's see, the Mediterranean.
Mm-hmm.
You people have everything over there, really.
It's a nice place. Anyway, it's a nice place, and we have to, let's say, restore our.
Oh, it will be.
We will try our best, and this is actually what we have been doing all these years, the last 5 years. The government has undertaken a huge reform program, and we are, we're there to support them. And I'm sure that the sacrifices of the people, because indeed they have been experiencing great sacrifices in our salaries, in our everyday living. At the end of the day, there will be light on the tunnel, and but I have to say that there is no social unrest. This it's quite calm, because I know that in the past you have seen some ugly pictures from Greece. The things are very, very calm. It's a very safe destination. In the islands and in the mainland, you will feel safe once there. And this is another reason that you should.
A very good reason.
One should choose this Greece as a destination, because it feels not only comfortable but also safe, and thank you, and also very. Comfortable, safe, and relaxed. It's a very relaxed destination.
And in today's world, if there's one thing people need, it's relaxation. And that would be the place to find it, and that's for sure.
Hopefully.
I mean, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
But so, what would you leave them with?
I would leave them with a place that is there to offer them great hospitality, above all. It's not an industrialized, type of tourism. Still, we keep a very hospitable spirit, and we're there to welcome all the tourists, and we'll be more than grateful to welcome you in Greece, offer you high quality services, and be there to to offer you as much as possible, to enjoy yourselves. And at the same time, don't forget that you are helping us, restoring our economy.
Those are really magic words she's leaving us with. And as I've always say to you people out there, and I'll repeat it again, we do bring you the best. And let me say this, you are.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I'm inviting you back again. There's so much to talk about
There are,
in
indeed.
this great country.
Indeed,
The
there are.
people are so nice. And one of the reasons I got started in having a television show, I've only got a minute to say this, is because My family built restaurants and we started in. We go back to 1893 here in Boston. And the people that did business with our family were mostly Greeks.
Yeah.
And through the Greek people, I more or less got into the television business.
Okay.
It's not really a business. And I hope all you people enjoyed this show and being with you all, and we had a great guest. So at this point in time, I want to say to you, it was great having you, and it was great being with you. So, adios, auf Wiedersehen, shalom, sayonara, yasso, and sai chen. And most of all, sei gesund, which means stay well. And with that, until we meet again, bye-bye.